Hi, and you are so welcome to Bona and Boma page. Today, I have something very extraordinary to tell you, and this has to do with mixed orientation couples. All right, so this is just a short education about what to do if you find yourself in such a situation. Now, this is Ophelia Boma Azuri. I go by my middle name, Boma, and my twin sister is Olivia Awembona Azuri. She goes by the name Bono. So together we are Bono and Boma, and we have this page to educate people about their spiritual life, psychological life, and lifestyle development in most areas that will help us to build a quality life. So before much ado, I want you to hit on the like button. I want you to share this and subscribe to our YouTube page channel. It's a whole lot of interesting stuff for you over there. Now let's just go straight to what mixed orientation couples are. What is a mixed orientation couple? Now, a mixed orientation couple is a couple whereby one partner is a bisexual, is a gay, or a lesbian. So if you find yourself in a relationship where your partner is a bisexual or a lesbian or gay, it means that you are in a mixed orientation couples. Now, what is it to understand a sexual orientation? Now, a sexual orientation is, according to Susan Cochrane and then Vicky Mays, they say that someone's sexual orientation involves the person's sexual attraction, the person's sexual behavior, the person's sexual fantasies, self-identification, emotional, social, and lifestyle preferences. So you can't just look at someone and assume their sexual orientation, but then you put all of these 6 or 5 factors together to determine a person's sexual orientation, right? So I also want you to understand that all of this is a subtopic about the LGBTQ IA plus. This has to do about the gay culture or the gay community, that are distinct kind of people that are attracted to or are in a relationship with the same gender. All right, and their symbol is a rainbow. This signifies unity, pride, shared values, and an allegiance to one another. So this is a subtopic from the LGBTQ plus. And so an estimate by Boston 2001 estimated that there are about 2 million mixed orientation couples in the United States of America, and that 42% of the gays have ever been married heterosexually in their lives at one point of their lives before. So now this is to say that is a significant number of people to have been mistaken themselves in a sexual relationship with a straight person. So let's move ahead and then let's talk about what are some of the challenges that are facing mixed orientation couples. Okay, I previously explained that mixed orientation couples are a couple whereby you find one of the partners either a gay, a lesbian, or a bisexual. So what are some of these challenges that they face? Sexual dysfunctioning, right? By Dank 1972, 50% of the men fantasizes about sleeping with other men while sleeping with their heterosexual wives. So they are not able to perform as husbands because they are busily fantasizing about same-sex intercourse. So it's either they are performing by fantasizing that or underperforming fantasizing that. Another 62.5% of sexual minority have reported extramarital affairs which happened within 5 years into marriage. Okay, so a mixed orientation couples, no, let's just take it that 62.5% of the mixed orientation couples have faced extramarital affairs or infidelity or unfaithfulness in the 5 years of marriage. So it's not only heterosexuals that go through sexual dysfunction or infidelity, but mixed orientation couples as well. Now let's ask ourselves, why do we have mixed orientation couples, and why is the number keep increasing, and why do they still want to marry heterosexually even after all this time? So number one, some of them are confused about their sexual identity in hope to resolve their conflict or reduce their attraction after marriage. This is by Corley and Court 2006. That the reason why we have mixed orientation couples is that some of them are confused about sexual orientation or sexual identity, so they go into marriage in hope of finding a solution that maybe it's my thoughts or my perception, but if I marry heterosexually, I could overcome being a gay or a bisexual. Number two is what religious reasons. We all know that many religious bodies do not accept gays or bisexuals or lesbians. So in order to obey God, we are taught to obey God, to keep the commitment and maintain our covenant with God. So they try to cover up their sexual identity to please God. Number three is what some married young before sexual minority spouse, by Danke 1972. He's saying that many of the mixed orientation couples are here with us because the time they married, there was a sexual minority spouse, meaning that they were not allowed to marry like today we have in the United States. Some states have passed a legislation bill or right for gays or lesbians to marry. However, then it wasn't so they ended up marrying heterosexually. Fourth point of why there are mixed orientation couples is because some people marry to fulfill familial or societal expectations, or because it was natural or a normal thing to do. So the fourth point is saying that some have families who want or are expecting them to marry heterosexually because it is assumed it is the normal thing to do or the natural thing to do. So they end up meeting societal or familial expectations. Number five is what could be a contract. Some couples admit to disclosure before marriage. This is by Matheson 1985. His research or his studies found out that some of these marriages we have today is because it was a contract. Some partner or spouse disclosed to the heterosexual partner that I might be gay or lesbian or bisexual, but I want you to know because I want us to go in a contract, either because of familial expectations or society, because we normally are asked reasons why we are not married at a certain age, and so some go into contract to marry heterosexually. The sixth point is that many desiring a traditional model family life as the only way to achieve it. So Lee 2002, also his research studies disclosed that many also want that traditional model family. So they want to have a wife or children and have grandchildren. So the only way or the only means to achieve this is to marry heterosexually. The seventh point is that, and the last point is for love. When we fall in love, a whole lot of decisions come in. We restructure our minds and our behaviors and expectations to fit in. So some of these distinct group of people, when they are in love, when they find love, attention, companionship, comfort, and all the care and support given to them, they end up marrying. This is not to say that they are escaping by overcoming their sexual attractions, but then they are attracted by the way they are being loved by the heterosexual partner. And we all know we can escape in the midst of love, right? So they end up giving in and they get married. So that is the reason why we have many sexual orientation or mixed orientation couples here with us. However, this is not to say that because Ghana is a developing country, we don't have them here. We have them here. I've heard stories, I've heard live or victim stories about ending up with gay men. Okay, so as we go on, you would get to understand. So how to know if your partner or spouse is gay, lesbian, or bisexual? And this is the reason for this education. How to know if your partner is belonging to the gay community or has a different sexual orientation from yours. This is number one. He displays extreme homophobic behavior. There are some gays who, because they've not had the opportunity and the right to come out as gay, they actually defend or they try to, fight back, right? So they don't want people to know that they are gay, and the moment you mention gay, they try to get all defensive, and those are the homophobic behaviors, or they either too linearly play and make a joke out of it. Number two, he watches homo porn. So if you have a husband who is attracted to homo porn, you should know that he has a different sexual orientation. Number three, he talks to men frequently and has inordinate affection towards men. He's someone who likes to pick, okay, on men. Most of his friends, or okay, let's say all his friends are males, and he normally checks up on someone, a distinct kind of a man amongst his friends. He checks up on him, his food, buy him gifts, and it's called inordinate affection, right? So number four, talks too much alone with one man. All right, so there's this man who he would invite to the house. I need to have a private moment with this man. He's my friend. I can confide in him. And he makes you, the wife, believe that this is the only one man he can talk to. And so you feel comfortable. You can even leave your house. You can have them alone in the room because you think your husband is having a good discussion with his friend. Maybe he might be a gay, and that is his gay partner. Number four, not sexually interested in you. We know men are actively active beings during sex, and they try to display it, especially if you are married. But when it comes to the point that your husband is not sexually intimate with you, he's trying to avoid it, always giving excuses, and he wants to make it up by something else, it might mean that he's a gay or a bisexual. And the fifth point is that you would have to confront him to know if he is a gay. That is the question. That if you see all these signs, you've been suspicious about certain things. The reason why a lot of women here in Ghana end up in a mixed orientation couples is because we take things for granted. We don't want to accept or believe that there are gays here in Ghana who are living just like how we are living, who are happy people, who are doing whatever that they want freely. And so you would have to ask, are you gay? Especially when you're suspicious about all these points I've mentioned, so that they can confide in you, or you would get to know through confrontation if they are gay or they are not. It's as simple as that. And you don't need to be so worked up about it. And you have the right to know about your partner's sexuality or even sexual fantasies. So there has been recently, I heard something very natural. A young Christian woman got married lavishly, beautifully, only to find out after the wedding that the husband has some sexual fantasies that she doesn't want to get involved in. Okay, and his sexual fantasies were towards was towards gayism. I don't know if that's the right word to mention, but his sexual fantasies were all about the homosexuality. All right, so ever since marriage, the woman has never had any vaginal penetration. It was only anal sex. And so this is what you should know. Try to know about your partner's sexuality. Explore them. I'm not saying that you should have sex or premarital sex, but explore to know if your partner has the sexuality, fantasy, or behavior that is aligned to yours. Good. So I want us to know about this. I developed PowerPoint, so I'm reading through the PowerPoint. Now, I want us to know, after confronting him and finding out that he's gay, what do you do? Okay, so, or what do you go through? First of all, the couples go through what we call a withdrawal or avoidance stage. All right, so you avoid any conversation, you avoid anything that has to do with you being married, because the couples are shocked at one another, especially when the husband comes out, I've been gay for so long. Okay, so the woman starts to think, so was he cheating on me? How didn't I know? does he even love me at all? Because if he did, why didn't he tell me? Why didn't he trust me enough to tell me he's gay? All right, so this is a thing that the couple go through, the withdrawal or avoidance stage. The second stage is disclosure or acceptance. That is when they come together and go like, please, let's work this. This is past the conflict stage, okay? So let's try to establish some coping mechanisms and then go through this. Okay, it's happened, I'm gay, you are heterosexual, but then this is how we find ourselves. What do we do? And the couple start finding ways and means to solve the problem. Now the third phase is adjustment or coping phase. This is what redefining their relationship and issues of sexuality where there's no longer conflict. So they now decide, should we live together, or do we live together but in separate rooms? Should we have an open relationship now since you are gay or bisexual and I can't? What should we do? And research has found out that when there's a disclosure, couples try to, at least for 3 years, live together. A lot of times after disclosure, couples divorce, and even those who try to live together doesn't make it past 3 years. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Because we can't live together now. And should you have an open relationship? How about the kids? What are we going to tell them? So this is where you have to adjust and find ways and means to like redefine your relationship. Are you becoming best friends now? Are you going to let your family or your friends know about it? Are you going to keep covering up to protect your partner? For example, here in Ghana, if your partner comes out, he's gay, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell your friends about it, that he's gay, knowing the risk he might be in, his family, church, society? So sometimes it makes women try to even protect them or defend them, so they still go on to live together. Now, what to do after finding out? Okay, so you decide on what to do. That is, you have to check for STIs to see if you have any infected diseases, and you also have to, secondly, take care of yourself. You eat well, you go and then you see a psychologist, a therapist, or a counselor to help you to redefine your relationship or your marriage and see where to take it now, because it's like it's spoiled, like the marriage is broken now because one was living in deceit, and no one can live in deceit for such a long time. It will surely come out. And also you have to consider the needs of the children, and you can't do this alone. You either need a psychologist, a family therapist, or a counselor to help you to do this. So there was this woman who actually found out the husband was gay after 30 years of marriage. By then the husband was around 50 years. By then there was the sexual minority spouse. So the husband came out that he's gay. So the wife had to support him, even though he was he lied about it. The wife had to still support him. They had to redefine their relationship, which became opened. Actually, the man quickly was able to get a partner, but the wife was still adjusting and trying to, go about it. She couldn't go out again because she couldn't take it in falling into another man's hand like that. So the husband actually went out and quickly had someone they were in relationship with, and the woman was fine. She was living with the two of them, and she was a good friend and everything. So after 10 or 15 years into their marriage, because actually the husband ended up marrying his gay partner, but after a few years they died, and the woman still visits their grave, take care of them. The children by then were grown, so they were able to at least take it in, and they understood that where there is love, there is just a thin line between pleasing people and pleasing yourself. So that was how her family went. The thing is that you don't have to blame yourself, okay? If you find out that your partner is gay or bisexual or a lesbian, the thing is that don't isolate yourself. Don't lock yourself in a room and try to pray and fast and ask God to show you the way, like try to deliver or cast out demons from your gay or lesbian partner. No, it is not you to do. It is not your fault that they are. That is their sexual orientation. You can't do anything about it. The best you can do is to accept them who you are and redefine the relationship. Okay, because the moment they come out to tell you their sexual identity, you have least to do about it. So don't blame yourself. Don't assume that your life is over because of societal expectation. Everyone saw your marriage. It was a nice marriage, and now people will ask you, why are you leaving your husband? Why are you leaving your wife? And didn't you pray before you went into the marriage? So blah, 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 blah. And you are getting depressed. You are blaming yourself. You think your life is over. And some even contemplate suicide. The thing is that it is not your fault to end up in that situation. Even in America, that some states have passed legislation, bill or rights, a lot of women still end up in mixed orientation couples. Talk less of Ghana, where it is so difficult for this bill to be passed. And the fact that the bill is not passed doesn't mean that we don't have gays or lesbians in Ghana. They are. And we've seen them on radio and TV and the media trying to fight for their rights. Okay, so you are at most 1%, no, not 1%, you are at most 95% ending up in a mixed orientation couple. Okay, so the fact that you cannot identify who they are, meaning you should be on the guard. The moment you find out you are falling in love with someone, you should get to know who they are. Okay, so let me just talk a bit about the effects of mixed orientation couples. You can have STIs from it because there'll be extramarital affairs. There'll be sexual rejection where your partner constantly gives you excuses and doesn't want to get intimate with you. There'll be damaged self-esteem, especially after knowing that all this while your partner has been lying to you and hasn't been truthful to you. There'll be that damaged self-esteem. There'll be fear of having your family torn apart, because this is a situation whereby the children will not understand who is daddy, why is daddy leaving mommy to be with another daddy. You get the whole point. And you'll be depressed. There'll be unforgiveness, anxiety, shame. All of this is surrounding the psychological well-being of the family, and you are the one to actually decide what to do to overcome what is happening, because there will be nothing great about you still staying in such a relationship. Now, the role of the psychologist, for me, I am an MPhil clinical health psychologist student. I'm doing my internship now, and I have just taken this opportunity to educate the general public about mixed orientation couples. Now, this is a voluntary education I'm giving out to you guys because I want to help. I want to reduce statistics about mixed orientation couples in Ghana. I have not been paid by anyone. I'm just doing it because I'm a psychology student. Fine. So the role of the psychologist, my profession, the role of psychologist is to first of all help couples negotiate and foster flexibility in their somehow broken relationship, whether they want to remain friends, they want to stay together, live in separate rooms, they want to separate, however they'll decide. It is our role to help them. Second, we have to support cohesion and commitment in this relationship, foster emotional bonding and focus on their shared interest. Maybe through educating them about their shared interest, they might want to still live together just to help maybe the kids get to understand get the kids to understand them until they grow to some certain stage to understand really what mommy and daddy is going through. So we still try to keep the family going on, okay, even though there's this aspect going on as well. So we also help in relationship therapy, sexual therapy, and enhanced closeness, right? So there's always anger, unforgiveness, conflict when your husband just out of the blue just tells you that I'm gay, I'm moving out, I want you to know I'm gay. And after all, you have kids, you don't even know what to do when you have moved across the country to live with your husband only to find out that he's gay. Or maybe you've moved to another country, like Ghana to the US, if your husband finally breaks out to you, I'm gay, I've been cheating on you, you know, all of that is so hard to take in. So psychologists actually work on, you know, that relationship therapy to see how best each couple can be supported. And also we try to build a strong communication. Now, what is a strong communication? It's where there is an open, honest, empathic, and frequent communication, which actually enhances intimacy and trust. All right, so I always say, if you are not ready to tell someone the truth, don't even start it. Right, I always believe that it's better to tell the truth and you fight about it, fight about the truth, and then make up later, than you lie about it and then you fight about it later. No, that is not how to communicate. Okay, and this is how you should know if you want to communicate. Anytime you want to tell someone something about you or something that has happened and you start by lying, you should know this is not the best time to say it. It's definitely not the best time. If it were the best time, you would say it without lying and you would tell the person the whole truth. So if you tell someone anything and you lie about it, you should know you are not ready to share it yet. All right, and people must understand when to wait for someone to share with them their experiences. There's not much rushing about it. Okay, so the role of the psychologist also is to educate. As I'm educating you, I want you to know that there is mixed orientation couples and the estimates are still increasing, and here in Ghana there's a higher percent of 95 where you would end up in a mixed orientation couple. All right, so conclusion that the mixed orientation couples or the gay community is a unique population that is minimally understood. Okay, and they are existing like we are. The only difference is their sexual orientation. So they expose or they have this unique abilities and lifestyle and, you know, experiences that only they can understand themselves. All right, so what we are supposed to do is to make sure that we build on our communication and also to bring satisfaction, quality, and success to every relationship that we find ourselves. Even breaking up in your relationship is success. All right, after finding out that your partner is gay, breaking up is a successful relationship, because you will not end up in marriage. Or even if you are in marriage and you broke up, you will not keep lying to yourselves, to your family, to your friends, and the society. And so in order to control mixed orientation couples or relationship, there should be good communication, sexual identity, and people's orientation, sexual orientation must be observed. All right, so I want to suggest that whether church or Muslim, all religions in Ghana, all churches in Ghana must add up to their counseling ways in which to identify people with different sexual orientation. This would help. All right, this would at the same time save heterosexuals and the gay community here in Ghana, so that we don't end up making our women sad or they sad. They should be able to exist in their community, whilst we should be able to exist and be happy in our community. And this is by, first of all, identifying them and accepting who they are, and also making sure that we don't pretend about their existence. All right, so this is in short what I have to say. In conclusion, it's just that it's about, I'm telling you how to identify mixed orientation couples, what to do if you find yourself in it, and then how to go about it. So thank you so much for your time, and please remember to subscribe to Bonnet and Boma page on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed. Remember, COVID is real. Stay safe. Bye.